A few years ago, I stopped celebrating birthdays with other people on purpose. My mom doesn't remember my birthday anymore because she doesn't remember what day it is with Alzheimer's. And my best friend passed away 2.5 years ago. And she was one of the most consistent people with remembering my birthday and just wishing me a happy birthday. And at some point, I just realized my birthday was starting to bring so many challenging emotions that I really needed space to be able to feel those emotions and not have to perform happiness or thankfulness or excitement, and just not have to pretend to feel any way that I wasn't feeling. So I think something, since I've been more aware of grief as an adult, is simply realizing that days that are supposed to just be very simple and straightforward celebratory days really rarely feel that way. I know quite a lot of people who have lost loved ones during the holiday season, for example. And so there is never just, after you've lived long enough, there's never just simplicity on special days. And that's okay as long as we recognize and don't feel guilty for having complex feelings. So I'm always saying we hold sorrow in one hand and joy in the other. And spending my birthday alone allows for me to have both of those feelings and give them both attention without feeling on display about it or feeling like I need to perform. That's the best word for it. Just that I need to show everybody how much I love what they did for me, or how happy I am, or how I'm okay, or tell the things that I'm doing and what are you going to do for your birthday? It's just these simple questions that don't feel simple anymore because there are so many mixed emotions for me. I just really thought for my last day of this series, I really wanted to just talk about the reality of this stage of life and grief and how complicated it can feel and what it can look like. And sometimes you just need to be alone long enough to process your feelings, especially on special days and big events, significant events. And to lose two of the most consistent people right around the same time. I say I lost them around the same time because my friend died in December 2023, and a few weeks later, my mom didn't recognize me as her daughter for the first time. And so that's a lot to process. And so these big days, they hurt. They're not just straight up enjoyment. My birthday isn't just fun anymore. And my mom was one of the people who made it so fun for so many years. I have just really idyllic memories of my birthday growing up. I'm an only child because of a loss. My brother was born almost 2 years to the day before me and passed away at 8 days old. And so I was this child born in the shadow of loss and so cherished. So cherished because they didn't know if they would have another child. I think so much about my mom during this time of year. My brother's birthday often fell on Mother's Day. So this time of year, especially as a mother, especially in midlife, especially losing my mom to Alzheimer's in this long, protracted grief. It just means that these days, my birthday is a very complicated thing, and it's really hard for me to accept kind well wishes, but be honest. Nobody wants to see you being sad on your birthday. People want to fix it, right? And I don't want to have to worry about other people's feelings on my birthday. I don't want them to worry about me. I don't want to worry about them worrying about me, It's not that I'm only sad. I love time alone. I love time to process. Birthdays are significant, and they have a lot of meaning, and you don't always get to process that kind of meaning. Yeah, and so I just decided a few years ago to just completely bail on trying to do things with other people. Right now, my friends are out of town, and they very kindly let me stay at their house overnight so that I could get some time away for my birthday. But because of that, there's a lot of noises in the apartments around that I'm not used to. So I'm like, do I need to answer the door? Is somebody here? It's not even that I was always face to face with my mom or with Gretchen on my birthday. It's not like we always saw each other, It wasn't that at all. It's not like I even got on the phone necessarily. It was just the consistency. Every single year, Gretchen would send me a silly gif of like Napoleon Dynamite or Parks and Rec, treat yourself. Like she just remembered. And I think to have those consistent people who just feel so steady and like just a part of the framework of your world, and mothers can especially be that, just having that every year and then having it not happen in conjunction with my mom also not reaching out, it's just, there's a big hole there. And I want to give myself the permission to have some feelings about that hole without having to have it be a conversation with anybody. My mom, as I was mentioning, she really made some super fun birthday parties for me. I was very celebrated. She was so creative and made clues to like find the birthday presents, and like it was a whole big bash. We lived on like in the woods with a pond, and it was just a whole big thing, and it always had a theme, and we always would go to the library and check out the birthday book, and we'd pick a theme. That's when I was quite young, not really when I was a teenager anymore. But yeah, I have such happy birthday memories with my mom. In adulthood, it's really funny though, because you know how like there's just certain people who like excel with young children, and then like my mom knew me as an adult, but um, she's a knick-knacky person, and so she would just buy some of the strangest things for me. Like, we have this family story about how 1 year into our marriage, she bought Andrew a cat-shaped teapot, like a ceramic teapot, um, because it reminded her of him. I think she knew that he liked the neighbor cat. And so she was that kind of gift buyer. Like, she wasn't really thinking, like, she was thinking about you, but she wasn't thinking, like, can they use this? Or I don't know. That was my mom. And 1 year, I think for my birthday, one of my adult birthdays before Alzheimer's set in, she got me like a sweater for my water bottle. I don't think it had arms. That would be really weird, right? I mean, I've seen water bottle holders, so they don't, I think it's so that they don't sweat or something. She was very serious about being hydrated. My mom would get these like health things in her mind, and she would follow them to a T. So, for example, she really heard in some news report when I was growing up that we didn't want to have too much salt in our food. That like that was really unhealthy for you. So I grew up eating like vegetables with no salt on them, like cooked vegetables with no salt. So she was very, very serious about hydration. And I mean, she should have been in this time period with the water bottles that are like this big. I mean, she's still aware enough that she is always losing her water bottle, always very disturbed and wondering where her water bottle is. Like, it's her emotional support water bottle, but it's not one of these. And maybe this is a great idea. Maybe I should just get her one of those big ones because it's harder to lose. So I don't even remember what those are called because I don't live in the US, and people don't do that here. Don't do the water bottles that are like as big as this couch. Anyway. So again, it isn't that birthdays were extravagant or that I always went on a trip or that I even got to talk on the phone to Gretchen or my mom, but it was just their consistency. Remembering me, celebrating me, and I miss it. I miss it. And it's complicated. So I just am here, I guess, to tell you about that, to encourage you that if you need space on special days, Mother's Day, I mean, having the 1-2 punch of Mother's Day and my birthday, usually within the same week, it's sort of a lot of feelings. And I think the number one way that I have tried to design a life that doesn't break me, my 44 ways I built a life that doesn't break me, is simply by giving myself space. Simply by physically removing myself from my busy, busy family and giving myself space to feel. Thank you for being with me for this series. And if something stuck out to you, I would love for you to comment about it. I would love for you to tell me if you feel like this stage of life requires more space for you to feel. If you are maybe feeling like your life doesn't give you enough space right now, I think that is the struggle. being in this sandwich generation that many of us are in, caring for parents and caring for children, trying to care for our bodies as they transition hormonally, trying to just be a person, feel like a human. It doesn't always feel like there's space for all of those things. So I would love to hear from you if that's a struggle, if that resonates at all. Just comment for me and say hi. And tomorrow I'll be turning 45, and I think I'm going to start a new series soon. I might take a little break, but it's been really lovely to have you here, and I will see you soon. Signing off. Oh, how could I forget to remind you to find the beauty today wherever you can find it, and to do what you need to do to dare to truly live and to feel alive in your own life. And that might mean making space for yourself today in some tangible way. Okay, now I'm leaving.